Good afternoon. Thought I'd take a moment to introduce myself so you know a bit about me and what sort of artwork I like to do and where I get my inspiration from and all that sort of thing. I'm in my 50s. When I was probably about in grade 5, I went to school with my parents and they taught at a tech school. Tech schools were renowned for having trades and all that sort of thing. And at this particular tech school they had an enormous, it seemed like it was enormous, very huge, stunning ceramics department. One of my parents was showing me around the school and took me into this ceramics apartment. Well, I didn't want to leave. I just fell in love with ceramics as soon as I walked into this place. All these wonderful bisque objects that were sitting up on the shelves and the glazes and everything. I was just in awe. And I just was opened to this world of ceramics from that moment on. So I've always had a passion for ceramics, really enjoyed it. And then when I got into high school, a few years later, I began to do ceramics in year 7. So with an art teacher there, so at the high school that I went to, and my ceramics teacher was absolutely excellent. She encouraged me to enter my work into the Melbourne show, and one of my pieces actually won the Melbourne show, so that was really good. So that was in year 10, that piece won the Melbourne show, and another one came second, so I was really happy with my results. So she showed me how to do woodwork, sculpture, glazes, different types of effects that you can do with clay to finish it off. She was a fantastic introduction to ceramics. She also helped me get a 2-week work experience with a potter. So, and the potter that she got me some work experience with was this lovely lady. She probably would have been in her 50s at that time, and she was gorgeous. So she took her time with me and just showed me all sorts of things, and that was it. I was well and truly hooked by this stage with ceramics, and all I wanted to do was become a potter. So, but it wasn't meant to be, and I ended up going to bookkeeping. So, which is probably completely the other side, but apparently those people who have a mathematical mind also have an artistic mind. So, there's the left and the right side of the brain there. So, so I became a bookkeeper and worked as a bookkeeper for many years. Then met my husband and married with one daughter who's now in her 20s and doing really well. And also we lived overseas in China, which is the mecca of ceramics and porcelain and all that sort of thing. So I had a great time over there looking at all the different galleries and things as well. So I learned a lot while I was there. Then came back to Australia and thought I'd better get a job. So I went back to bookkeeping, got my qualifications at the local TAFE, spent 3 months as a bookkeeper and absolutely hated it. Told my husband I need to get outdoors again, I need to do something else. But I thought, well, I've got to earn a living. So I became a landscape gardener. That was going well and doing really well. I enjoyed it, great work, very creative, but started to get a bit of arthritis in my hip, and that led me to having to give up landscape gardening. So then I turned to another passion of mine, which is cooking, and I became a commercial chef, which I enjoyed. And while doing my landscape gardening and being a commercial chef, I also had a hobby on the side, which was my pottery. So, and I went to classes and but never really could get to the stage of having my own studio or breaking out in that particular way. Anyway, so I was working as a chef, working really hard, and had a chat to my husband one night, and he said, look, why don't you go and study arts? And so I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. So I thought I'd go and do my diploma of arts, started it. It only had a very small portion of ceramics. By this stage, all the ceramic courses through the TAFE colleges had all been eliminated, so there was no more courses there. So that's why I decided to go off and do this diploma of arts, of fine arts. I enjoyed it. It was good. It taught me a lot. I learned about printmaking, I learned about painting, I learned a lot of different skills, but it still wasn't my ceramics. So my husband said to me, there's a factory down the road, you're not enjoying your course, you've almost done your first year, how about you don't go back and we lease out this factory and you open up your own studio and do your pottery. So that was 2 years ago, and so now I have been in my studio for nearly over 2 years, which is great. Absolutely loving it, and starting to sell my work, which is great. Really enjoying it, and still doing a lot of learning as you go. There's just so much to learn in ceramics. I don't think you could ever cover everything that you need to know. So, and the scope is huge. So you could just stay in the one little unique spot and never get out of that, and still be quite entertained with all the learning that you do with that. But me being me, I like to explore a lot of different avenues and a lot of different things, and so that's why behind you can, behind me, not you, behind me you can see a lot of different techniques, a lot of different ways of doing pottery, sculptural things, things thrown on the wheel, things painted on, things etched into, different glazing techniques, all sorts of things. I enjoy this side of it. I enjoy investigating. I like to try things out and test new theories. Some of them are my own theories. People might have already done them before, but it's been my process of coming up with that idea, not somebody else's or reading someone else's idea. Some of them I have read and about these sort of different techniques and thought, oh, that sounds good, and given it a go. And yeah, and so I've gone on and worked with different potters through lessons, and honed in some of my techniques and my skills through them. It's very hard to find somewhere where you can actually learn all the things that you need to know. So that's what's led me to doing these YouTubes, because if I can pass on something that can help somebody else to learn and enjoy ceramics that little bit more, because their abilities have widened due to something that I have shown you, then that's great, and that's what I want to be able to do. I'm finding that a lot of the learning and things like that, you can't do it unless you go and pay a ceramic artist, you know, a fair whack of money, and it's already an expensive hobby. So this is why I'm doing these YouTubes, to pass this information on. And hopefully just through sheer practice and determination that other people will achieve what I've achieved. And be as inspired to keep on achieving and learning. So, and helping others out. So, which would be really good. So, we can all enjoy ceramics, and ceramics will survive this downturn at the moment with the education, the lack of education. So, yeah. So that's really what I'm about, and that's why I've decided to do some YouTube videos, is to get it out there so other people can give it a go. A lot of people have said to me, oh, you know, I'd really like to do classes and stuff like that, but you know, once you pay for clay, glazing, glazes, tools, pottery wheel, kiln, and all this sort of stuff, you're up for a small fortune. So, and you know, you haven't even sold anything yet. So, and it does take quite a bit of effort to get to a reasonable standard that you can start selling your work where people want to buy it. So, yeah. So I'm starting to reach that stage now. I'm starting to sell my work, which is really good. People are liking my work, so which is good. So I just have to keep going with that and keep working, which is really good. So if you enjoy my YouTube videos, please follow me, and hopefully there'll be something that you might pick up that might be useful for you. Anyway, I'm Sammy O, and this is the way I do my artwork.